The young and the restless spoilers. Sharon's heart raced as the doctor's words echoed in her mind. Severe liver damage, requires an immediate transplant. She could hardly breathe. The world around her seemed to spin as she clutched Nick's hand, her knuckles white with tension. Faith, their sweet, innocent daughter, was lying in the hospital bed, her life hanging by a thread. The accident had been a nightmare. Faith, in an unexpected twist of fate, had been in the wrong place at the wrong time. The sharp edge of metal had cut deep into her abdomen, damaging her liver beyond repair. Now, only a transplant could save her, and time was running out. The situation was dire, and Sharon knew it. She and Nick had faced the unimaginable once before, losing their beloved Cassie in a car accident. That loss had nearly destroyed them, and now, with Faith's life in jeopardy, the fear of another tragedy threatened to pull them apart once more. But there was a sliver of hope. A faint, desperate hope that they clung to with all their might. The results from a previous blood test showed that Adam, Nick's half-brother, was the only suitable match for Faith. The only one who could save her life. Sharon's heart sank at the thought. Adam. He was the last person they wanted to turn to, but they had no choice. Adam had distanced himself from them, burned by the constant betrayals and conflicts that had poisoned their relationship. He had no reason to help them, no reason to trust them. But this was Faith. His niece. Surely, he couldn't refuse to save her. Nick and Sharon knew what they had to do, but the thought of it filled them with dread. They had to beg Adam for help, plead with him to put aside the past and focus on the present, on Faith's life. When they reached out to Adam, his response was cold, distant. "Why should I help you?" he asked, his voice devoid of emotion. "After everything you've put me through, why should I risk my life for your daughter?" Sharon's eyes filled with tears. "Please, Adam, she's your niece. We're begging you. We've already lost Cassie. We can't lose Faith too." Nick, usually the stronger one, found himself at a loss for words. He knew Adam had every right to refuse them. They had betrayed him, cast him aside, and now they were asking him for the ultimate sacrifice. But this was for Faith. He had to make Adam understand. "Adam," Nick began, his voice thick with emotion, "I know we've hurt you, and I don't blame you for not trusting us. But this isn't about us. It's about Faith. She's innocent in all of this. Please, we need your help." Adam looked at them, his expression unreadable. The anger and resentment he had carried for so long were still there, simmering beneath the surface. But there was also something else, something that flickered in his eyes, a trace of the man who had once cared deeply for his family, despite everything. "Faith," Adam whispered, the name of his niece tugging at something deep within him. He had tried to distance himself from the Newmans, to build a life that didn't involve the pain and betrayal that always seemed to follow. But could he really turn his back on Faith? Could he live with himself if she died because he refused to help? The internal battle raged within him. He had every reason to walk away, to let them suffer the consequences of their actions. But Faith was an innocent child, a young girl who had done nothing to deserve this. Adam could feel the weight of the decision pressing down on him. Sharon's desperation grew as she saw Adam wavering. "Adam, please. If Faith dies, I won't survive it. I've already lost one daughter. I can't lose another. I'll never forgive you if you let her die." The threat was clear, but it wasn't what swayed Adam. It was the thought of Faith, lying in that hospital bed, fighting for her life. It was the memory of her smile, her laughter, and the way she had always looked up to him, even when the rest of the world turned its back. Adam took a deep breath, his mind made up. "I'll do it," he said finally, his voice firm but resigned. "But this doesn't mean anything has changed between us. I'm doing this for Faith, not for you." Relief washed over Sharon and Nick, but it was tinged with the bitter knowledge that they had pushed Adam to this point. They had burned bridges that might never be rebuilt, but for now, all that mattered was saving Faith. The next few hours were a blur of medical preparations and frantic prayers. The doctors worked quickly, testing Adam and preparing him for the surgery. It was a complex procedure, one that carried risks for both Adam and Faith, but there was no other option. As Adam was wheeled into surgery, Sharon clung to Nick, her heart in her throat. "Please, God, let this work. Let her live." Nick held her close, his own fear barely contained. They had come so close to losing faith, and the thought of what might happen if the surgery failed was too much to bear.